When we change our mindsets, we can change our outcomes. Save our lives from sadness, depression, and anxiety, thus giving us the freedom to live the life we want. Hi, I'm Stuart Haskin, founder of getsafe, and your host of the Movement for Change podcast. Hey, it's Stuart. Welcome to the podcast Movement for Change, and today we're going to talk about how conflict starts in a relationship. I don't know. It's usually the other person's fault, right? Anyway, let's see what Jack has to say, our relationship expert. See you soon. Where we can change that outcome and even save some lives. Because when people are going down this rabbit hole of sadness or depression, we don't know what will make them feel better. But if we can give them 20 minutes of something, if it's a relationship, and we have Jack here as a relationship specialist, giving some words of wisdom that it's not hopeless, it's not too late, I think, because relationships are hard, right? And today is a great topic. I'll let Jack say hi real quick, and then we'll go with the topic.
Hi, Stuart. How are you? I'm glad to be here. And of course, I love the tagline. We want to save lives, and we want people to feel good and enjoy their lives. And giving some hope, like you said, this is the most important. There is hope. There is help. Don't give up.
Yeah. And it's one trip around, right? One trip around. Let's make it a good one.
Yeah.
Life's a short time, make it a good time. Is that what they say? So
yeah, one conversation at a time. And I'm hoping that somebody can take something and say, no, there's hope for me.
Yeah, I agree. Because we've seen it, you've seen it, I've seen it. The loneliness factor, the sad factor, the depression, just in this realm of relationships, and giving them some simple tools, which I think you do really well. Giving us just some things just to focus on. It's not too clinical. It's not too expanded. It's just things you can take away. And so I appreciate and thankful for having you on this podcast. So
yeah, I'm glad to be here.
All right, let's get rocking then. So your topic today was very interesting. You had mentioned it prior to us going on, and it's whose fault is it?
Yeah.
Because I see that fingers pointing right, left all the time. It's not me, it's theirs.
Exactly. And it's so much easier, right, to blame your partner, because then your partner needs to be fixed, right?
Yes.
In a relationship, unfortunately, what happens is we think we put all the effort to maintain a relationship, and it's the other partner who doesn't do their job.
Right.
It's my husband who is not talking to me or connecting with me. It's my wife who doesn't understand what I need. And it becomes find the bad guy game, right?
Yeah.
If we can find the bad guy in a relationship, then we can go to couples therapy and we'll know who needs to be fixed.
Yeah, and you know what? Even doing that, I'm talking to a person now that says, I don't need therapy, they need therapy. And it's a couples thing. It's like, oh, there's two people there, and so maybe at least get a mediator with skills. Someone who can hear both sides and have that opportunity, because I see relationships as you do that people can't voice themselves, and then they don't want to go anyway. But so anyway, yes.
Right. And you're right, because when you're in a relationship and you decide that you can fix it yourself, right? Most of the couples will fail, and they will try it repeatedly, fixing and then fail and fix and fail. And by the time they actually start looking for help, they got hurt so many times, and that the repair becomes much more difficult. My view on this is get to therapy as fast as you can. If you had one fight, get somebody to help you right there, so you don't have to create those fights over and over again. And also, as we discussed, the subject of today's discussion is maybe it's a little bit better to say there's no bad guys in a relationship, right? Neither you are bad, neither you are broken, neither one of you need to be fixed. You got stuck in this place because the way you were raised, the way you grew up, the way you had relationship with other people, the way you decided to use a strategy, or the way the strategy used to protect yourself kind of put you in the place where you are right now. And there's nothing wrong with all of this.
Yeah.
Because chances are, whatever strategies you use, whether it's to demand that your partner responds to you, or shut down and stop talking to your partner, they worked great for you when you were growing up. But today they don't work very well. They don't work in the relationship. And that's what's so sad, that the only things left is to blame somebody else, right?
And the other component is we're humans, so we're all different. There's no identical, unless they're an identical twin, but mostly there's no identical human. So our mindsets, we view things a little differently, and so that's the other thing, is being together takes work. It takes
Yeah.
communication.
And I think you brought up a very important part of the difference. And I would say that the differences that people have, they're what I call natural differences. And natural difference means that this is who I am, this is how I grew up, this is what happened to me. Even if you take two identical twins, the expression of their genes will be a little bit different, right? Based on their lived experience, based on their interaction with other people, based on their relationship difficulty or relationship successes with other people. So
I like the lived
yeah,
experience
that's a
because
big deal.
there's the other thing
That's a
that
big deal.
people, and we've talked about this, bringing luggage, baggage in from other relationships. Those are things, that's a lived experience that may have been negative. Then you may have had a positive one, that your expectation is this person should know I like cream in my cocoa. Well, they know unless you tell them. But
Yeah. Right. And as you come with a lot of baggage, like you're saying, that baggage creates sensitivities to different things in you, right? So some person may be very sensitive if they're being criticized, right? The other person can be sensitive if they're not respected. The other person can be sensitive if they're wrongfully accused, if they believe that they're wrongfully accused, right? So what happens in the moment when you get triggered, all of this pours out as blame, right? And the other partner may not even know what's happening right now. But the point that you're saying it's taken well, that we are different, and it's okay that we're different, and be able to accept your partner, just the way they are, is part of understanding that natural differences are not bad. They're actually good. Now, there's always a limit what you can accept, right? So, for example, if there's any type of physical abuse, you can't accept that. If there's a drug addiction, you don't have to accept this. If there's a porn addiction, you don't have to accept it. So there's some limits based on your core values of what you can accept. But if we're talking about a regular relationship where people are loving each other, they're struggling to connect sometimes, kids get in the way, parents get in the way, in-laws get in the way, the society gets in the way. That's and the way you were raised in your family and the way you showed up in the relationship, some things not worth fighting over. We accept the natural differences, and there should be looked at as an asset.
So how do you, okay, because you probably see this over and over. People come in and go, she does this, he does that, she does this, I'm trying to do this. So she's making it worse or he's making it worse. How do you get them out of that mindset of fault, where you're coming together?
The best thing what I find is awareness. Why two people do something, and awareness is the reason she's demanding, because she loves you and she cares about you and she wants to be closer to you. And the reason your partner shuts down and stops talking to you, it's because they're scared to make it even worse and have a relationship disappear. So the strategies they use, they look so strange during the conversation. Why do you stop talking? Why you just walk away? Why you just get angry and disappear? Or why are you blaming me? Why are you criticizing me? Why are you telling me that I'm doing something wrong? On the surface, they look like a big storm. But if you drop below the surface, you'll see there's a cry for help. Says, one partner says, I miss you, I love you, I want to be closer to you, and I don't know how to connect. And the other partner saying, I'm so afraid to fight. I don't want us to continue fighting, so I'd rather shut down and pull away. At least the fight will stop. But the more they pull away, the more the other partner says, where are you? Where are you? You're pulling away from me. I'm all by myself. So they start demanding. And the more they demand, the more the other partner pulls away. And the more they pull away, the more it demands. So you can see that it becomes a vicious circle. And the problem is Yeah, the problem is once the couple gets stuck in that cycle, in the vicious cycle, they can't exit by themselves. It's like trying to do a heart bypass surgery on yourself. You bleed out before you're able to put, bypass. And that's what so happened, because couples love each other so much, they fight for connection so much that they repeat the same mistakes over and over again. And the outcome is still they're disconnected. They're not
All right.
to each other.
So would you say blame or pointing who's at fault is just a defense mechanism? Maybe they're just
it's a way of reaching out to your partner and telling them that I'm hurting, but they don't know how else to say it. There's no skills, there's no tools that tell them, how do I let my partner know that I need help? But if you don't know what to do, the only thing you need to do is how to get upset, how to blame, how to criticize, how to shut down. It's standard fight or flight, right? In a moment of stress, can I share with my partner what I need in a safe way? Can my partner respond to me? But instead, what happens when they get stressed, that's a danger. So they respond in two ways, either to attack or to run away. Either one is a good response by itself, because that's what got them in their life to where they are right now. But this response in the relationship creates difficulty. And then they don't understand why it doesn't work. Because a lot of times, like if we take a typical conversation, the husband may say, I don't know what to do. I can never please you. I'm always at fault, right? And the wife says, I tell you exactly what to do. Just show up home on time and clean the dishes and take the trash out. I tell you exactly. You just do this. So that's a demand, which is nothing wrong with this demand. But if you take away all of this anger and frustration and surface emotions that are very rough, below that, there's a much softer part of the person saying, I feel all alone. I feel I'm invisible. I feel that I'm failing you. I feel that our relationship will fall apart, and I'm so scared.
Let me ask you this then.
That's it below it, but they can't see
that either that person to disclose that's really how they're feeling, or the other person to understand or realize that's how they're feeling. I mean, so there's a point where we're fight or flights, right? Generally, and that fight is there, and to really open up. Right. I mean, that has to be probably a skill set on your side to create that opening so they can actually have vulnerability, right? Is that
right? So for example, whenever you do any type of dangerous activity, right? A policeman, a fireman, a pilot, a skydiver, scuba diver, anything dangerous, right? We practice everything in a safe environment before we go and do dangerous job, right? So the pilot would be sitting in the simulator and practicing landings and emergency procedures, right? Policemen, they go through the training over and over again and recurring training. So when they actually encounter dangerous situation, they already know what to do. They have the steps, right? In the relationship, we don't practice what to do in the moment of stress. There's no guide, there's no school where you can say, okay, let's take different situations and let's practice what's gonna.
It's funny because in my head I'm thinking, because what we do in our agency, we work with some of that, not relationship aspect, but with law enforcement, different things, and it's stress inoculation, where you create that stress and then a conditioned response. So in my head, I'm starting to fantasize your center you walk in and people start yelling at you. And instead of you reacting, you just, okay, yeah, I understand you're hurting. So it gives you that stress, and then you start learning that conditioned response so you don't, because ultimately you want to respond is the yell back. So anyway, I was just visualizing your center.
Great. What you bring it up is very great. Can we help the couple to recover from the stress in a safe way? Right. The only thing that they can recover in a safe way if they have loved ones next to them, right? So if it's a stranger, most of the time you would ignore and move away, all right? But the key here is the person you love. So in the moment of stress with the person you love, can you recover? Do you have tools to help each other to feel safe? Because I can tell you one thing, relationship is a dangerous activity.
Yes.
It's emotionally dangerous activity. Because in the relationship,
could be physically too.
But in the relationship, you take the guards off, right? You unprotect your heart and you open it up and you say, I'm in a relationship, this person will tend to my heart and keep it safe. And when the first fight happens, it's a big shock. How can it be? The person loves me and he was screaming at me. How can it even be? So you put a little shields around your heart. And the second fight, you put one more shield. And the third part, just a little shield. And by the time they come to therapy, they have this layer of protection against each other because they still love that person. So they just don't want to get hurt in the moment of stress.
Get Safe. Workplace empowerment and safety training promotes safe practices for organizations of all sizes. Staff training focused on effective communication and basic safety skills will build better customer service and brand loyalty. Safety education fosters stronger employee retention, as well as increases employee morale. This is proven to yield a more confident and competent workforce enabled with effective communication skills as their foundation. Select any or all of the courses offered to build a program tailor-fit to your specific needs. Let Get Safe help build a change in mindset for your organization and empower better outcomes for your whole team.
Are you searching for a safe and supportive place to strengthen your relationships and improve your mental well-being? Well, look no further than Couples TLC Counseling, your trusted community mental health clinic right here in Fullerton, California. At Couples TLC Counseling, we believe that every individual, couple, and family deserves access to quality mental health services. As a nonprofit clinic, we are committed to providing affordable and compassionate care to our community. With our team of dedicated associate therapists, we offer a wide range of services, both online and in person. Whether you're facing challenges as an individual, struggling within your partnership, or navigating complex family dynamics, we're here to help. Our clinic has 7 therapy rooms, each designed to create a warm and welcoming environment for healing and growth. Our experienced associate therapists will work closely with you to identify your unique needs and tailor a treatment plan that best suits you and your loved ones. Couples TLC Counseling also offers support groups specialized for those who identify as male, female, or non-binary, providing a safe space to connect, share, and grow. Additionally, our parenting classes and specialty workshops empower you with practical tools to navigate the challenges of parenthood and enhance family relationships. Don't wait any longer to prioritize your mental health and relationships. Take the first step toward a brighter future by contacting Couples TLC Counseling today. Visit our website at couplestlc.org. That's couplestlc.org to learn more about our services and schedule your appointment. Couples TLC Counseling, where healing and connection thrive. Couples TLC Counseling does not provide emergency services. If you or someone you know is in immediate danger, please contact emergency services or go to the nearest emergency room.
We do experiential work, and experiential work is whatever happened to them in their private life, they might talk about specific incident that hurt both of them. We will replay it in slow motion and understand what happens to each partner, and we will develop a new responses. How do you protect your partner? Can you reassure them? Can you tell them that you hear them? Can you tell them that they're important to you? Right? There's a 4 existential questions that every person in the world plays over and over in their head. It's like a radar. It constantly pings your partner. Do you love me? Right? That's a ping. Ping. Do you love me? Do you care about me? Ping. Am I important? Do I matter? Ping. And when I need you, are you going to be there for me? Ping. If all of the answers are yes, then you feel safe in the relationship. But if the answer are maybe or no, then you go into defense. Then you go into this escalated mode, and you're going to start fighting for that connection. You're going to fight for yeses, right? Do you love me? Well, maybe. Well, no, tell me, do you love me? Right? And you fight for it. So whatever problem people have, you can distill it down to these questions and say they're fighting for connection, but the strategies they have don't work. It's like sending somebody to a jump from airplane with a parachute and do not teach them how to use a safe, the safe parachute, how to use the spare parachute if in case the main doesn't open, right? They'll survive for a while, but eventually, if the main fails, they don't know how to deploy the spare. Well, in the relationship, the same thing. We survive for a long time until one day we don't survive and we have a big fight, and one person says the nuclear option, takes the nuclear option, and says, I want to leave the relationship.
Well, and then also to dovetail off of that, it's also when you get the tools, like anything else. I mean, I'm sure you're a skydiver. If someone told you how to deploy the emergency chute or whatever they want to call it, and you never practiced it or even thought about it, when it happens, you're going to go, I remember the guy said this, or the lady told me this. So you have to actually practice the tools you're giving them as well, I think.
Yeah, right. And that's done during the therapy. That's why the therapy is called emotionally focused therapy, and it's experiential work. We don't assign homework because we know when we assign homework to couples, most of the couples fail in doing homework. And it's also can be weaponized against your partner. So for example, if you assign to read a book, right, and one partner reads and the other doesn't read, then they will have resentment. Look, I'm doing the homework. I'm doing all the work that needs to be done for our relationship to work, and you don't read this book, right? That creates distress. So we don't assign homework for couples. If they want something to do at home, usually it's to become aware of their emotions, to become aware of their bodily experience. Let's say I feel a chest pain, or I feel stomach hurt, or my neck is hurting in a moment of stress, and I feel sad, or I feel angry, I feel frustrated, and document those emotions so we can understand what happens with the person. But all the practice we do in the session. On the average, sessions about an hour and a half, and on average, they'll practice 3-4 times, and it will take the brain to assimilate that practice about a week. So by the time they come next time to the session, that's settled in, and we'll practice more until it settles in. That's why it takes about 12 to 14 weeks for typical couples therapy, and a lot of this is that practice. It's repeating what you just said. You got to repeat this.
So they don't have any homework when they go home, which is awesome, right, Daniel?
Yeah.
Daniel hates homework. He's in school, but it takes. So what you do is you revisit things when you come in. So you don't start fresh each time. It's not learning curve like 14 weeks of brand new stuff. It's more of just working it so they understand it and they can use it.
Yeah. Well, the key word in any couples therapy is repetition. So repetition is the key. We find that during the research, we find that it takes 5 to 10 times to repeat the same thing before a person actually internalizes this and connects to it. So first time you say something, let's say your partner really cares about you, that will be missed, and the other person can respond, no, if he would care for me, he wouldn't do that, right? And the second time you say this, and third time, after fifth time you said, yeah, I know he cares about me, but why he's hurting me emotionally? And then the sixth time, seventh, 10th time, they said, I know he cares about me. I need him to help me with my hurt. So repetition is important, and it's like with children. You can't do anything with children if you don't repeat it. Children actually teach us how to go back to our relationship, right? So if somebody says, if your wife says, do you love me? And you say, honey, I love you, right? And then you stop, and then you don't say anything else. It's like food. You ate food in the morning, you're still going to be hungry in the evening. So if you gave your wife some reinforcement and some encouragement in the morning, she'll be hungry for it in the evening. She'll be hungry in the middle of the day. If the wife gave you something and says, I love you, honey, when you go to work, you're going to be hungry for it in the middle of the day and the end of the day and next day, right?
Yeah.
But we forget. We think that once we tell the person,
They're full forever.
Yeah. Or something like, if I wouldn't love you, I wouldn't be here, right? What kind of a response is that?
Yeah. I like the repetition part. Funny, only reason I equate it to, I just went surfing on Sunday. Me and this other guy, or three of us, and me and the other guy haven't been out forever. So we're forgetting how to put our wetsuit on. We're forgetting, I got everything. Did I lose anything? It had been like a couple months because of the weather and the water. That's like anything else in life. I know I'm a repetition person. The more I work on things, the better I feel about it and more comfortable, and I can execute them better. So I think that's a
Yeah. And the relationship care is a perishable skill.
yeah.
To care for your partner and to care for yourself and to care for relationship is perishable. You need to practice it all the time. As soon as we stop practicing it, it will disappear. It's like playing piano. You can be a great pianist. You give it a couple of months and you'll have to go back and you'll remember the songs, but you have to clean things up. You're going to be stumbling a little bit more, right? The same thing in a relationship. When you kind of take it and say, well, yeah, we know everything we need to know, it will start to deteriorate. So the goal is not only repetition, but also develop rituals in a relationship that maintain this connection. Those rituals, we call it hellos and goodbyes, right? What do you do when you say hello to each other? When you meet after days of work, or you went to the store and you come back? Anytime, even when you go to the backyard and you come back, what do you do in that moment? If you're sitting and your wife walks in, or your partner walks in through the door from the backyard, right? And then there's goodbye. What happens when somebody, your man goes to the Home Depot, right? What happens when they go to work? How do you tell each other, or your wife goes to work? How do you tell each other goodbyes, right? These are also when you say goodbyes when you go to sleep, right? When you go to bed, you say goodbyes. Developing all these rituals around this theme of hellos and goodbyes becomes really important to maintain that love and to maintain that connection. And then many people develop rituals in their daily lives. They have special days.
Yeah.
Friday is our day, then we're going to attend to each other.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. So real quick, just a couple things on how to get out of the blame game, or what do you do when it's the fault is starting to be pointed at everyone else? So, just 2 quick thingies, or 3, whatever you have for us blamer gamers.
Well, the first thing is there's nobody at fault when a relationship doesn't work. Not you, not your partner. You got stuck in this cycle, and you're going to be stuck there if somebody doesn't help you to get out of it. Many people try to do it on their own. Many people fail. So my suggestion is get somebody who understands how the cycle works and navigates through this cycle. And at the same time, when your partner gets upset or blames or criticizes or shut down, just keep in mind, my partner is struggling. This is what happens when my partner struggles. And just at that moment, they need my help. And to be able to announce it out loud. I know something's happening. I don't quite understand what it is, but I'm right here. And in a way, you want to answer 4 questions with yeses during this moment. I want to reassure you I love you. You're important to me. I care about you. And I'm right here, right now. I see you're upset. I see you angry. I see you blaming, or you walking away, but I'm right here. When you're ready, I want to get engaged. That's the type of conversation we want to have in the moments of stress.
Yeah, and just to realize blaming is probably just a shield or a barrier or a wall that's built up. But all right, well, thank you.
It's a cry for help.
Yeah, and that's the thing, to understand that. I think on the other side, it reduces your put up your dukes kind of response. Your fight back response. I think if you're thinking, okay, this person is kind of hurting, let me take a moment to find out why. I think compassion wise that you have for your partner, maybe that comes through.
And also be able to stop yourself from reacting.
Yes.
Right. Because when the other person is blaming, it's so hard not to react and try to defend yourself. Or if your partner is shutting down, it's so hard not to demand for them to come back and not to shut down. But we need to do the opposite. When my partner is blaming, is understand that they're hurting. When your partner is shutting down, understand that they're hurting. And this is the time they need me.
Right.
And if both people do it simultaneously, then they can connect. So I can attend to my partner knowing that she will attend to me.
All right. Yeah, well, I look forward to attending your getting yelled at workshop. I think that's going to be a good thing. Kind of work with that. But I do thank you again for helping us change mindsets, to change and save lives. You're always a great guest, and I look forward to the next one for sure.
Yeah, sounds great, Stuart. So nice to be with you. And this is a great subject.
Yeah.
So don't blame each other.
Yes.
There's no bad guys.
Yes, exactly. I'll remember that. I hope. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to our podcast, Movement for Change. We hope that our discussion has left you with new perspectives and insights that can help you change mindsets and save lives. Please visit us at getsafeusa.com for resources, trainings, and if there's a topic you want to hear about or you have questions, please email us at info@getsafeusa.com. Together, we can make the change we want to see.